Hey guys, welcome back. So this is a beginner's tutorial really, how to do Stonewood AFK storm shield, so all 30 waves while you just nip out to the shops, go to work, whatever, just leave it on in the background and it will get all the XP for you, etc, etc. So what you want to do as well is make sure your survivors, if you can, are set for kind of trap damage and trap durability if you can. Now I know the mythic survivors, on mine anyway, are set to ranged damage, so it just makes sense to have as you see here 3 range damage bonuses and then maybe 4 trap durability bonuses, but obviously I'm still grinding this out, and there's nothing wrong with putting kind of rare or epic survivors in for that trap durability bonus, because you still get the full plus 8% or whatever bonus it gives you, so that's not a problem at all. The other thing you need to do as well, I'll be demonstrating you just using a ninja for this, just to make it easy to get around the level. But when you load up properly, you want to make sure you have a constructor build and use someone like Machinist Harper, because she has plus 52%, I think it is, trap durability increase. So if you've got some traps set up and they have 100 uses, 100 durability, then using her loadout you'll have 152 durability, so the traps will last longer. You'll do the storm shield endurance a lot easier as well. My other traps in Stonewood, I think most of them are only level 77s or 106s. I've leveled them up a bit more now, but most of them I've done double crit rating, double crit damage, so you roughly have about a 50% chance of hitting a critical hit bonus, and then I've normally put 1 durability on the bottom, so that means, you know, I'm relying on my survivors to give me the durability boost, and Machinist Harper as the main constructor to add another 50% of durability on top of that, so I can focus on damage and getting the enemies killed, which isn't always good. Like sometimes you don't want the enemies to die, you want them to survive and keep being pushed around on the later kind of storm shields like Twine Peaks and Canny Valley, but in Stonewood you just want it to kill them. So anyway, we load up. I'm going to give you a quick tour around just as a ninja, as I said, just because it's easier just to show you, but most of these actually you don't need any kind of metal work or builds around the actual storm shield or amplifiers. But anyway, here's the first one. So you don't have to do as many builds as me, but I just enjoy building. I like using my metal, I think it just looks cooler. So for this first one I've created just 3 normal tunnels. So I've just got the ceiling traps above, they can go down up, be as high as 2 tiles. I think they are just level 3s or level 4s, so but level 77s are absolutely fine. Just basic trap tunnels going through, so some broadsides, some freeze traps, some pushbacks, and some wall darts, and they never ever make it through to the storm shield, so that works really well. Never had a problem with that, and you do have to funnel off the side as well to stop enemies just going round. Here you can just see you lay the freeze trap facing forwards, and then when it's frozen an enemy it pushes them back like I just demonstrated with the jump, and then at the end I've just put some tar pits here, so if anything does make it through, like a smasher or something, and breaks all the walls, which it never does, it will stop in the tar pit and then get taken out. So this is another one where I've probably built excess, but I just wanted it to kind of look cool and enjoy the building side of Save the World. So a couple of trap tunnels, tar pits just at the end in case anything gets through, some anti-air traps, And then the main thing that works for this, for the first few rounds on this amplifier, is the tire traps over where they spawn. So very later rounds they'll run out of durability possibly, and then your base just has to rely on everything else stopping them. But tire traps do the majority. There's a few floor spikes that do the job after that, but yeah, no one ever gets through this way. And the floor spikes here, look, I've got about 500 durability, and when you have Machinist Harper on, that'll go up to about 750. So unless you get some sploders causing a bit of random damage, then they'll never get taken out. Usually nothing ever makes it through these trap tunnels. Everything's killed them off way before, but I kind of just put it here just as a final precaution, so you can leave the house without worrying about whether your storm shield's gonna make it or not. Again, you can have tire traps up top, but I kind of like the electricity of the ceiling traps. Now the next base, well, you do get a few of these enemies coming round the side, probably because I opened up a path and they tried to come through here. But it's just another option for them, and some of the later enemies try and come through there. But still, if they try and come around the side, there's another trap tunnel, and if they do end up knocking that wall through, then there's tire traps above and tar pits, and that's as far as they'll get. Now the next one, mine's A here. You do not need that pyramid building work over the amplifier, but I just do it anyway because that's something I did from the beginning on this base. But you just need a few floor spikes, a trap tunnel here, or you can just completely block it off. But I prefer whacking traps down, it just looks cooler and you get to see enemies die. And then sometimes they spawn up the top here, so I've just blocked the ramp up there so they can't climb over all the traps, and then there's a few pushers knocking them off down there, and then some wall darts and so on just to stop them trying to get over the traps in the other way. Ceiling tires, that'll take care of most of them on nearly every wave, and if they do come through the tunnels, just a regular 2 stories high ceiling electrocutions up the top, and then just a load of broadsides, wall darts behind, and they never get through. Piece of cake. Again, you don't need these extra things around the amplifiers, but I've just put them there anyway. Looks kind of cool, I think. Again, this one is... so sometimes you get the odd one spawn up the top, but most of them spawn down here below. So, tire traps up top, all facing towards the amplifier so that when they get hit they get pushed backwards. Broadside and trap tunnels up this side, or you can just block it off completely if you want to, but you do get a few spawning on this back corner, so I've just left a hole for them here, so when they spawn in here they can just enter the trap tunnel and try and make their way through and inevitably die. I always do my trap tunnels the same kind of layout. The electric ceiling traps up top, and then the broadsides doing most of the work. There's a couple that will spawn up the top here, so I've put the wall dynamos up there just to catch anything trying to get over the traps or make their way another way. And if they come down this way, then there's floor spikes, wall darts, and then everything else is covered at the bottom there, like the tar pits. So pretty straightforward so far. Like this is, I've done it in kind of an expensive build, but you can easily just use wood or brick if you want to instead, and you can just block off a few of these paths instead, but I just put trap tunnels down. So that's another direction they come from, but the main thing is if they do come from this way or work their way around, you can block them off at the end. And then the trap tunnel that come through the most is this one. Sometimes they try to get through that wall there, but most of the time they'll just run around, hit the freeze traps, get bounced back, hit the spikes, broadsides, and then occasionally they'll get to here, and then the dynamos and the tar pits finish them off. So D for me is where the tornado spawns on round 20, I think. And that's the worst thing about Stonewood Endurance for me, because it just destroys all your traps, all your walls and everything. So when I do it properly, I always put the base on top of there just to protect and heal the buildings. But on this one, when they attack from this way, loads of ceiling tyres, loads of floor spikes into this trap tunnel. Nobody ever makes it through here. Level 77s are generally fine all the way through, but I think I've used some 106s. And then if they come down through this way, just build a trap tunnel down. Again, nothing gets through. And if it does get this far, they've still got another wall to get through with wall dynamos on. Sometimes they come from this direction in front. What you'll see is on this one, because the tornado likes to blow everything up, I have built some other traps, but first, if they come from the other direction, again, more ceiling tyres, and then 2 trap tunnels on the way up to stop them. This is generally enough. Same setup as usual. I don't know why there's a wall missing there, but good luck to the zombie that tries to get through there. These are all just extra, like nothing ever really makes it there, but I just like to be over cautious. And then there's extra darts on the side for anything that does get through in the later rounds. Some enemies do try to come around the side, so I have blocked it off slightly and built another trap tunnel up top here. So again, you know, with some good blocking you don't have to build this other trap tunnel, but I just thought, if they come up here, another trap tunnel, through they come, just another option for them to die, so it doesn't waste all the traps on a single trap tunnel. For this amplifier, they spawn down there. So there's 3 different ways for them to go. So again, they can go through that tunnel and up towards the amplifier. So they've got 1 and 2 tunnels to go through there. Otherwise this way they can come through this trap tunnel, up top, and through the comm. Obviously you can build better now in Save the World, you can build into the landscape and everything, so you know, it's not an outdated build because it still works every time, but I just haven't had to change it yet. And then the third way they can come is straight ahead down here. I've done the voiceover for this after the video because I just filmed this on the PlayStation earlier on, so I can't remember what I'm doing here, but there we go. So this is the third way they can come, through another trap tunnel. Again, low damage traps really, like definitely not using the level 130s. Now this area here I have blocked off because that's another way up to the tornado amplifier, and in the very later rounds they will try to go up there if you don't block it off, and it just makes it really easy for them to get in. So make sure through there you have the L1 walls, the R2 walls and the R1s, and then anyway when they get redirected this way, nice easy trap tunnel to finish them all off. And if they're going for that other amplifier, they'll come through here and then they're stuck in a kind of a canal of tar pits and dynamos. If you have the same layout of the amplifiers as me, you'll find that the tornado takes out most of them, so there's definitely a better way you can lay this out. Generally the vertical walls the tornado doesn't take out, but any flat floor building or like those tar pits, they will definitely be taken out by the tornado, so it can definitely be switched around. So that's pretty much everything. So I think I'm going to start it up in a minute. I'll just cut to a few of the later rounds, and I'll try not to shoot. Well, I won't shoot anything. I'll just jump in and show you what happens. Sometimes it can be a little bit close at the end, depending what the tornado's done. But generally, it's absolutely fine. So I think I'm just showing here on the video that the tornado takes out the floor panels, but these vertical ones like the wall darts generally don't get hit by the tornado, so they normally stay up and they will damage enemies into the final rounds, which is really handy. What I did before was put some traps inside this pyramid because this is about the only one where you needed it, but I've taken them out now because the tornado destroys them, but there's nothing complex to the build. You definitely don't need all this metal work. On this amplifier, because when I first built it I had a bit of trouble with enemies getting in, so I built floor spikes and wall darts inside the pyramid, but that's something you don't need to do. Like if you do the same build as me, you don't need that anymore. It just helped initially when I was first setting up. And I did it on the top one as well, because you get the odd kind of bigger husk just hitting the pyramid from the top. So if they ever got in, there was traps waiting for them in there, but they never get in anymore, so it's not a problem. But if you're bored, okay. So here we are, wave 2. Nice and easy. All the ceiling traps, taking them out. Nothing even making it to the floor spikes yet. Wave 3. Most of them again spawning underneath the ceiling tyres, but you get the occasional one spawn on the top. They'll jump down into one of the trap tunnels, or they'll get done by a wall dynamo, so no dramas. Some of them choosing to go up towards this trap tunnel. As you can see, like, these traps have only been used like once or twice, so they're just not making it very far at all. Now if you look on the top, there's a few spawning up there. If the wall darts don't get them, the pushing traps do. Just shove them straight onto the grass bank or onto the floor. Again, the only thing that will affect this is the very later rounds when the ceiling tyres run out, and they'll have to go through the trap tunnels or over the floor spikes, but that's not a problem. never seen this before, but looks like they're getting, a few of them have been shoved off but not far enough. So they're breaking down that wall there, which is absolutely fine, because all they're going to do, they're not going to destroy any traps or anything there, they're just going to come inside this trap tunnel, fall inside here and then get killed in the trap tunnel. So they kind of bypass half of that trap tunnel and then they'll be walking through behind me into another trap tunnel. So again, no problems.
We have a break in the action. Another wave coming soon. Prepare for an attack from the west.
This one's definitely not a problem in the early rounds. I'm just showing you one from each amplifier at the beginning, then I'll just show you more of the later rounds. So here we are, so wave 15 for me is always the safety zones war game. So give yourself something like Survivalist Jonesy so that when enemies are killed you recover some health, and then it doesn't matter where you stand in your AFK spot, because when your traps kill the enemies, you know, you'll get your health back. Doesn't matter about being outside of the storm shield. So you have to lose all of the safety zones, all of the mini amplifiers that spawn, so it doesn't matter if you lose one or two. So I'm just showing you here that on the side of this amplifier I haven't blocked off or done anything, so a few of them come down here and kind of work their way around, so they'll probably take out that amplifier, but it doesn't matter. There you go, so getting to the later rounds now.
I would stay away from that twister
So this is probably the worst one for Stonewood, the tornado. So all those traps down there are just going to be taken out. Not down there. A few of them down there, but all the ones in this pyramid here just get taken out slowly, which is why if you put a base in the middle on the top, when you're the constructor loadout, that will help keep the walls together and heal them. But you will lose the traps. So that's how it looks at the end of round 20. The amplifier is pretty opened up, but most of the areas around it are kind of still together. So there's still a layer of wall dynamos intact, still a load of wall darts. This area is still all blocked off down to the floor, so that's not a problem. And when they're coming from the other way, there's still the two trap tunnels and the ceiling tyre traps, so still plenty enough to hold the amplifier safe. So round 22 you can see that most of the ceiling traps have run out of durability here because I'm playing as a ninja, so they'd still have 50% left or something if I was in the constructor build, but you can tell it still doesn't matter. The floor spikes do enough damage to these enemies by the time they get near the amp. None of them can make it through the trap tunnel. Now some of them, as I said before, do come round the side and seem to pinpoint this one wall and they're taking it out. But it's not a problem. You could reinforce that wall, put some building behind it, but the traps take care of it anyway. So wave 23, the ceiling traps have failed on this amp now. They're starting to come into the trap tunnels and make it further. Same on 24, most of the ceiling tyre traps have had it, so they make their way into the trap tunnels now to be sorted out. Now wave 25 can be a little bit annoying with the hot spots. For me this time it's not an issue, there's plenty of trap tunnels, plenty of ways around, and if it does destroy some of the building work it's not a big problem as long as you've laid your trap tunnels well enough. Wave 27, there's a big smash over making it through, trying to get round. Even they can't make it. Wave 28, we had a visitor. So I find if you're on Fortnite, someone joins your Storm Shield, give them a weapon, and you never know what they might give you back. I think Jutsu here was very nice. Give me 5,000 Sunbeam crystals, as well as a Nocturno legendary weapon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7,000 Sunbeam crystals. Yeah, I think some of these veterans that have been playing for a long time, they just have so many resources built up, we just like to give them away, so thank you. So wave 29, this amplifier is still doing pretty well. It's still got a few ceiling traps left. More of them are making it towards the trap tunnels now, but the floor spikes are taking them out. There we go, the last wave. So normally if you keep in the AFK spot near the main home base, which I actually forgot to show in this, nothing will ever get you, but just for the purposes of this I'll show. So at the beginning of the wave you get some mini kind of bosses coming in and trying to clear a path down towards the amplifier. Now the trap tunnels will take most of them out. and if they get fed up taking out walls and buildings down near the trap tunnels, down near the amplifier, sometimes they come towards the player, but not always. I think this guy nearly takes out the wall, or did he take the wall out? Yeah, he took the wall out. They took the wall out and then the wall dynamo got him at the bottom, which is fine. So that has left a clear way for the enemies to get through to this amplifier, so there's work that can be done there. But this other kind of mini boss is just come to the amp and he's just working his way around, taking out some of the structures, but it's not a problem. Now the ones that come out the mist pods aren't interested in anything but yourself, so as long as you're in a good AFK spot up high somewhere, generally they can't get to you. There he goes, he's going to take out most of them walls, but it absolutely doesn't matter as long as most of the zombies are taken out by the trap tunnels. Okay, so one of the mist pods has spawned open, so it's probably going to try and teleport its way up to me. There we go. So I'm just going to go up to my AFK spot where I normally wait. So if I'm ever going out and I leave this on, this is my AFK spot at the top of this grass up here. This is where I'll just leave my player. And as you can see, these enemies generally do not get up here, so he'll try and make his way over. You should get 3 or 4 mist pods explode on this final wave and they'll all try and come and attack you. But most of them seem to hang around down near the storm shield, the home base, but don't do any damage to it or do anything. You just kind of sit there. Sometimes they're invisible. You can see them on the mini-map if you're looking. Anyway, so as I said, this is like by no far like one of the best AFK bases out there, but it's just a fun one. It's fun to build some trap tunnels, just kind of lay it out how you want to, and it's just easy. As you can see on the top left, like I've nearly got all 20,000 Mist Monsters trophy now, so it's just an easy way to rack those up a few hundred each time you run the endurance. I might do some step-by-step tutorials in the future, maybe for like Canny Valley, Twine Peak, Storm Shields, etc. But I just wanted to upload this one for now, just for those newer people out there that want to be grinding their XP and the battle pass levels and things like that. I think I've got 3 Mist Pod enemies or epic mini bosses here, just kind of waiting on the floor for me, and none of the other husks ever got through those trap tunnels, so the base survived absolutely fine. we go, that's the end of wave 30. Not too bad at all. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope that's helped. Any questions, pop them in the chat. If any other videos you want me to drop out there, just let me know and I'll try my best to do them. Cheers, guys.